What is an NFT? Non-fungible token? You couldn't come up with a more confusing name if you tried. Who was the person that was like, this phrase right here is going to get the masses on board with my brand new crypto idea? By the end of this video, you'll understand what an NFT is, how it's much more than just digital pieces of art, and why you should care. We'll talk about some pieces of digital art, but also how bands like Kings of Leon are using NFTs to offer their audience exclusive perks. And we'll also talk about a cool way that a golf country club is using NFTs. Let's just get the annoying technical stuff out of the way. And I'm going to way oversimplify this. The mob could be coming after me for this, but what is non-fungible? Non-fungible, that word. Non-fungible basically just means that something is unique. There isn't anything else like it. So a normal Bitcoin, for example, is fungible. If you trade one Bitcoin for another, it's the same thing. There's nothing unique about it. But I don't want you to let the word token in non-fungible token confuse you or throw you off, because it all really comes down to a blockchain. Okay, stay with me. A blockchain is just a really fancy database, and NFTs are unique lines of code that live in this very fancy database. So let's break this down. When we look at pieces of digital art, we have Cryptopunks right here, for example. Cryptopunks was one of the first NFT projects to be released into the world, and that's why it's fetching prices of like $100,000 or way more than that even. And how this actually works is you have, for example, this cowboy hat beard CryptoPunk guy right here. Basically, his piece of art is just a set of unique lines of code that lives inside the blockchain. And his unique pieces of code is different than this Mohawk guy with the pipe, right? He's another set of unique lines of code. And now, in the same way that a piece of art that an artist makes, or even sports cards where they only print 10 of a certain type are scarce, these are scarce in that they're the only ones that exist in this variation. And so you take that same principle of what makes something valuable, which is a lot of times scarcity, right? There's only one of it and I want it. And those same principles are applied to NFTs. It's just unique lines of code. There's nothing else like it. Now, I'm not here to debate if CryptoPunks should be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, but that's the concept that we should understand when it comes to unique lines of code. Now, the main idea, okay, what I want you to walk away from this video understanding is that NFTs are unique digital assets that are tied to real world value. Now, to be honest, a piece of art like Cryptopunks is sort of a lame example of NFTs because the main world value that you're getting is that fuzzy feeling of being the only person who owns this unique piece of code that makes that art, and that's worth a ton of money. So, okay, yeah, the money's pretty great. But another use case, a much more creative one, and we'll switch over right here. This article, Rolling Stone, talks about how Kings of Leon will be the first band to release an album as an NFT. So what does that actually mean? Well, it says one type of NFT that they're releasing is a special album package, while a second type offers live show perks like front row seats for life. Okay, this is starting to sound more interesting. And a third type is just for exclusive audio visual art. So Kings of Leon are offering multiple types of NFTs. It looked like one of them was just a normal piece of audio-visual art. So you get this art piece, maybe it has some music behind it. And in the same way, CryptoPunks are scarce. This is scarce, and so it's valuable. That's fun to me as a fan of Kings of Leon. But the other type that sounds way more interesting is the exclusive perk of free front row seats for life. How can they offer that in an NFT? Well, like I said, it's a unique set of code. And so when you have this code, you can type in a perk that you want to be able to offer the person that holds this NFT. In this case, front row seats for life. So the next logical question is, why can't they just release a normal membership online that gives front row seats for life? And it's because this is actually a digital asset. And as the holder of it, it's not like I just own a membership to Kings of Leon front row seats. I can actually take this asset and sell it to someone else online. In the same way that I can go and sell a piece of stock in a company, I can sell this to someone else. So if Kings of Leon grows in popularity and all of a sudden I can charge way more for my seat passes, I don't have to go through Kings of Leon to sell it. I can flip it in the open market and make money on my initial investment. investment. So now Kings of Leon have given me a literal incentive to be a raving fan of theirs. But one more example to really drive this point home, we have LinksDAO. You can find them at linksdao.io, and they are pitching a new era in golf. They are basically a golf country club that instead of just selling memberships like normal country clubs do, they're actually selling an NFT version of this. So in the same way that you have a golf membership, right? It's you have exclusive rights into their VIP parties, you have access to golf, maybe depending on the level, either the leisure or the global NFT. You have a right to get into certain areas of this country club. But what's cool about this, if I go and I purchase this, actually interesting, 0.72 ETH, that's around $2,000 US dollars right now. If I go and buy that membership and say this golf country club grows in popularity, I can actually go and flip that membership to someone else, because in the same way Kings of Leon seats were a digital asset, I have a digital asset here. So say they start opening golf courses all over the US, but I have a rare NFT that has much better like perks to it than the person who bought it later. I can go and actually flip this to someone else for a lot more money. There are so many more examples of how people are offering NFTs that provide real world value for other people. I'm actually going to be coming out with a course on all this stuff. You can go to my website in the description. It might even be out already by the time you're watching this. But the main idea that I want you to walk away with is that an NFT, non-fungible token, is much more than just digital art. It's unique lines of code that make up a digital asset that can hold exclusive benefits to the ones who hold it.